Hello everyone, and welcome back to my Chicago O'Hare Model Airport Update series. Today, I've got update number 5. As the title and thumbnail imply, this update will focus on the United gates, specifically Terminal 1. Really quick before we start, I need to share that I rebranded my YouTube channel from That One Creator 128 to Plane&Simple with an ampersand. After watching my analytics and some videos by other creators on how to build a successful channel, I noticed that my channel name didn't imply that I posted about aviation. I felt the need to rebrand just so my content gets pushed out to more people and so people take me more seriously. So far, I like the results, but in order to truly understand the effects of this change, we'll just have to sit back and wait. But now that I clarified that so there's no confusion about who this is you don't remember subscribing to, we've got a few new models in this update, including one I've been waiting to get for a very long time. So anyways, let's get into it. First up is this United Airlines 737 MAX 9, which right now is pushing back for its flight to Georgetown in the Cayman Islands. Just next to that is this Air Canada Bombardier CRJ 900. This aircraft just attached to the jet bridge and is currently deplaning its passengers as it just arrived from Montreal, Canada. Following that, we have this United Airlines A321neo. This specific model replicates the very first A321neo United received from Airbus, registered November 44501. Currently, this historic aircraft is loading baggage and being catered for its flight to Las Vegas. Next, this United Airlines 737 MAX 8 is being fueled up and is also in the process of attaching its pushback tug for its service to Montego Bay in Jamaica. Moving on, this United 737-700 is unloading baggage from its service from the southernmost city in the continental United States, Key West. And as yet another Floridian route, this United Boeing 757-300, aka the Flying Pencil, is just getting ready to push back for a quick flight over to Fort Lauderdale. I chose this route today for the United 753 because it is, or maybe was, uncommon to see this aircraft on this route. However, I understand that United would most likely prefer a larger presence at Fort Lauderdale rather than at Miami, since then they won't need to compete with their rival American Airlines and Oneworld, which is what they already do here at Chicago O'Hare. And finally, here at Terminal 1, we have a brand new model. This is the United Airlines Boeing 787-10 in the new Evo Blue livery. To me, this is a stunning model, and when I heard Gemini was re-releasing it, I knew I had my chance to finally get one. To me, this is the perfect addition to my United wide-body fleet because when you think about it, the 787-10 has about 5 separate routes here at Chicago O'Hare, United's headquarters, and 1 or 2 at Frankfurt, which is another model airport I focus on. Anyways, this United 787-10 Dreamliner is loading up lots of cargo, baggage, and food for its roughly 13-hour flight to Tokyo Haneda Airport. Here at the cargo section for today is this United Parcel Service McDonnell Douglas MD-11 freighter. Right now, this trijet is loading shipments as well as being fueled for its flight to Louisville. And next to that is a United 777-300 in the Continental Merger livery. The United 773 is a scarce sight at ORD, however I've heard of a few occasions where it visited. This specific visit, whether reality or not, is simply for a quick diagnostic of the aircraft's electronic systems as well as some maintenance checks. This specific aircraft was produced just after a November 2534 uniform, the 777-300 that had a landing gear issue while taking off from San Francisco. Right now, the United maintenance team in Chicago is just making sure that there aren't any related issue with this specific aircraft. Please note that this recreation at my model airport is probably entirely fake and was thought up for entertainment purposes only, without any knowledge of possible connections to real-life events. Moving on to the aircraft taxiing or presently departing or arriving, we first up have this American Airlines 737-800NG. I just got this model and I'm happy to finally introduce it in today's video. Since the 737-800 flies to Southwest Florida International a lot, another one of my model airports, and is a very common sight here at O'Hare, I've been dying to get one, and I'm thrilled I finally did. Back to the update, this American mainline 737-800 is currently taxiing to its ramp after a routine maintenance check, where it will then be loading its passengers for its upcoming service to Austin, Texas. And just veering off runway 27 center, this American Airlines Boeing 787-8 Dreamliner is merging with taxiing traffic as it just landed from London Heathrow in England. In front of that is this Air Wisconsin CRJ 200, which right now is taxiing out to its departure runway for its flight to Waterloo, Iowa. Continuing down this chain of taxiing aircraft, we have this Lufthansa A340-300 in a new livery. This aircraft is currently taxiing to Terminal 5 as most international arrivals at O'Hare park at the international terminal prior to departing from their respective Alliance-operated ramps. Translated into English, it means that once this aircraft deplanes, it will then head over to Terminal 1 or the satellite concourse to board for its departure flight. Anyways, this Lufthansa A340-3 just arrived from Frankfurt, Germany. And also taxiing to Terminal 5 is this Delta 737-900. This aircraft will be parking at the Delta gates there as it just came in from Salt Lake City. And as the final aircraft for today's update, this United Airlines Boeing 777-200LR in the StarAlliance livery is lining up to runway 27 left, where it will then proceed to execute a run on takeoff, kicking off its flight to Orlando. With that is going to wrap up the 5th update of my 1:400 scale Chicago O'Hare Model Airport series, and I think I'll be using the geminijets mat for the Terminal 1 videos as a default in the future. I'm really happy to have made such a diverse update, with things such as maintenance and takeoffs, and honestly, I'm really glad to have recreated a few US wide-body routes with international destinations. Speaking of international destinations, Italian flag carrier ITA Airways will be making their inaugural flight to Chicago O'Hare from Rome Fiumicini on April 7th of this year. Before being bought and rebranded to ITA, Alitalia Airlines used to fly their 777-200 aircraft here, and evidence of that can be found on Flight Radar 24's satellite imagery. So technically it's not the very first time the Italian flag carrier has been here, but more rather their first time after a long break to gather sums up after rebranding. But I'm really looking forward to seeing ITA at O'Hare, and I've been dying to get an ITA A330 since I'm just in love with their livery. Be sure to let me know what you thought of today's update in the comments, and help me decide if I should do a Terminal 3 video next update, which is where most American Airlines aircraft park along with some of their One World partners. Other than that, thank you very much for watching, and until next time, fly safe.